Welcome to Newsboy on Track for Wednesday the 27th of March. Hard to believe, but the first classic of 2013 is just over 5 weeks away. May the 4th is the date for your diaries. It's the QIPCO 2000 Guineas at Newmarket. The favourite for the race is Dawn Approach. 6 races he had as a 2-year-old. He won all of them, including the Coventry at Royal Ascot, also the National Stakes and the Dewhurst, 2 top-level events at the end of last season. Jim Bolger is the colt's trainer. He very kindly agreed to talk us through the horse's progress. I started with the obvious question: how is he?
I don't like to use 2 words where one will do, so awesome fits well. He's going very well now. I couldn't be happier with him.
For the uninitiated, what exercise would a Guineas favourite expect to do in the close season between November and April?
Well, after the Dewhurst, he walked for one day and he was bucking and squealing the day after that. So we decided then that we better start doing something with him or he's going to do himself an injury. So he went for an easy canter the following day. So then I began to scratch my head and wonder, how we were going to control this fella for the winter. His sire, we were able to let him out with a pony. For all his exuberance on the racetrack, that's New Approach. For all his exuberance on the racetrack, he was very good in the paddock with the pony. So he went in and out every day. And, we used to put the tack on him every second or third day and give him a trot and a hack. But he was very content in the paddock with the pony. This fella, we couldn't even contemplate that because he's really too fresh and it was too risky to let him out, even though we have a small paddock with good stud rails around it. I didn't have the nerve to let him out, that's the bottom line. So what we did then was we have a treadmill here, and he went for a trot 3 days a week on the treadmill uphill, and the other 4 days then he was going for a hack on the gallop, and that's what he did all winter. But he still managed to put on 30 kilos doing all that, but at least we were able to keep him safe.
And so you'll go straight to Newmarket, would that be the plan?
I've discussed it briefly with Simon Christopher, and I just said that I'd like to make an entry for Newbury, and we'll see at the time, when the time comes, where we're at fitness-wise and all that with him, and maybe decide a week or 2 before Newbury whether we'll go to Newbury or not.
That's the Greenham, obviously, the 2000 Guineas trial.
Yeah. But I'd say he's more likely to go direct to Newmarket.
Right. Okay, now Dawn Approach was obviously a very able and mature 2-year-old. He won the first juvenile race of the season in Ireland last year. How much of a concern is it his peers might catch up with him in terms of maturity?
Well, they weren't able to catch up with him from March to October. So, I don't see any big disadvantage come April or May this year, or June or July either. He's got a lot stronger himself, and he will be slightly heavier. So, he's done well. He's not a little bit of a 2-year-old, in other words. Like, he's a fine, big, strapping horse. So, I don't see. I don't see the fact that he won in late March any disadvantage.
Right.
Like if that were the middle of April or even the 1st of May, nobody would be talking about it. I'm sure there's only a month or 6 weeks in the difference.
Now, he's by a Derby winner, obviously your New Approach, to a mare that you trained, between 6 furlongs and a mile. What do you envisage his optimum distance being in 2013?
I can see him getting 10 furlongs, and who knows, he might get further because he's got a very, very relaxed way of racing. And he's got all the gears, so he wouldn't really be taking much out of himself travelling with 1.5 mile horses, no matter how fast they go, because he switches off completely. So that gives him a reasonable chance of staying. But having said that, my gut feeling is that it'll probably be a mile and a quarter.
So the Derby is a possibility at this early stage.
Well, he'll be entered anyway, following a suggestion from Sheikh Mohammed. I hadn't been thinking about it, but, it mightn't be a bad idea now, at least to enter him and see how things are going.
Okay, now Saburo followed in the Prince of Dawn approach to give you a hat-trick of wins in the Tally-Ho stud maiden at the Curragh on Sunday. Are there any other similarities that you can draw at this stage?
Well, Saburo has a nice bit of ability, there's no doubt about that. He's in the same mould, he's built the same way. He's a big, strong 2-year-old with a lot of bone, and he's a very relaxed sort as well, takes everything in his strides, so whether he's as good or not, time will tell. Just
one more question. Obviously, some big events hopefully lie in store this summer, but in August you also, I think, plan to have another charity hurling match.
We do, yes. We've the date fixed and the pitch is agreed, and we're hoping, of course, that Davy Russell will be in one piece, because we wouldn't get much satisfaction of beating his team if he weren't playing.
Could you just tell us a bit about the date, and if anyone's interested, where they should...
It's in Newbridge, which is very close to the Curragh, at 6:30 on the 13th of August. And it's in aid of cancer research. And last year we made 123,000. And we carry all the expenses ourselves, and whatever money we get in, which was 123 last year, that goes to the Irish Cancer Society, strictly for research.
That was Jim Bolger, trainer of Dawn Approach, favourite for the 2,000 guineas at Newmarket on May the 4th. We'll have more Newsboy on track on Saturday. Join us then.